The Galactic Council chamber on Apex Prime was silent, heavier than stone. Representatives from more than 40 alien races sat around the giant circular table. Their faces were tired, defeated, and full of fear. Every holographic screen in the room showed the same image. Red infection zones spreading across the star map like blood. Ambassador David Chen, humanity's representative, watched the map with tight fists. For weeks he had feared this moment. Now it was finally here. The oldest being in the room, High Elder Vora of the wEvery, rose slowly. Her glowing eyes dimmed with sorrow. "We have lost," she said. Those 3 words cut through the chamber like a knife. No one argued. No one protested. Every species knew the truth. The Vorgath, the monstrous hive creatures from the dark edge of the galaxy, were destroying everything. No negotiation. No mercy. No weakness. "They have taken 12 star systems in the last 8 days, Vora continued. "Worlds we thought could never fall have been consumed." She gestured, and the hologram shifted. Planet after planet collapsed into red. Entire civilizations erased like dust. Ambassador Chen felt his heart drop. He had visited some of those worlds. He had eaten their food, walked their streets, met their children. And now, gone. The room trembled as a deep voice spoke. General Krask of the Durian, a reptilian warrior giant, slammed his metal fist on the table. "We are out of time," he roared. "Our fleets are broken. Our weapons fail. We cannot stop the Vorgath." A wave of murmurs spread. Fear. Shame. Hopelessness. Chen stood. "So what are you saying? That we surrender?" The general looked at him with cold eyes. "We are saying the war is lost." The council chamber lights dimmed as the main hologram activated again, this time showing a huge golden seal. "The Exodus Protocol." Chen froze. "No, you can't be serious." High Elder Vora nodded with a heavy heart. "We are abandoning the Outer Rim. All worlds outside the inner safe zone will be sacrificed." Chen's breath caught. "You mean planets like Earth?" Silence. No one would meet his eyes. "We do not have the ships to save every civilization," Vora said softly. "If we stay and fight, everyone dies." Chen felt his anger burn. "And if you run, then humanity dies." "Humanity," General Krask growled, "is already lost. Your world sits on the far edge of the Outer Rim. The Vorgath will reach Earth in weeks. And you plan to leave us there?" Chen demanded. No answer. Only the quiet whir of machines. Chen slammed his hands on the table. "Cowards! Humanity fought beside you for 5 decades. We shed blood for your worlds. Now that ours is in danger, you turn your backs." Vora closed her eyes. "This is not about loyalty. This is about survival." "No," Chen replied. "This is fear." Every race in the hall turned toward him. Some angry. Some ashamed. Some simply broken. Chen continued, voice steady. "You say the Vorgath cannot be stopped. But you have never seen humanity when we stand alone. You think we will go quietly? No. We will fight until we have nothing left." A deep, painful silence followed. Then the vote began. One by one, the alien representatives pressed their symbols. W'every, 4. Durian, 4. Korvac, 4. Tuthari, 4. Valen, 4. Grell, 4. Every species voted to retreat. When Chen's turn came, he pressed against without hesitation. The single red mark glowed on the screen like a dying ember. The decision was finalized. Humanity was abandoned. Vora approached Chen after the meeting. Her voice wavered. "David, I am sorry." "You should be," he replied. She handed him a small metallic chip, something she had kept hidden. "This contains information about the Vorgath. Something the council refused to study. Something dangerous. Something that might matter to your people." Chen took it, confused. "Why give this to me?" "Because humanity does not break," she whispered. "And the galaxy may need you again, if any of us survive." Chen pocketed the chip. "We will survive. With or without you." Vora looked away, unable to face him. The alarms in the council chamber suddenly blared. Red warning lights flashed across every wall. A holographic AI voice echoed. "Urgent update. Massive Vorgath fleet detected. Star system, New Colonia." Gasps filled the chamber. New Colonia, the closest human colony. Chen's face went pale. "They're already here." The alien council stared at each other with terror. But Chen did not wait. He sprinted out of the chamber, grabbing his communicator. "Earth Command, this is Ambassador Chen," he said, voice fierce and shaking. "The galaxy has abandoned us. New Colonia is under attack. Prepare every ship, every weapon, every soldier." He looked at the glowing chip in his hand. "And get ready for war." Suspense ending. As Chen boarded his shuttle, the data chip pulsed with strange light. As if something inside it was waking up. Ambassador David Chen's shuttle rushed through space toward the Earth Command Station. His hands never stopped shaking, not from fear, but from anger. Humanity had trusted the Galactic Council for decades. And in the moment of greatest danger, every alien race had abandoned them. Chen watched New Colonia's distress signals blinking across the shuttle's monitor. Red beacons. Urgent. Dying. The Vorgath had already arrived. He clenched his jaw. "We will not die quietly." Minutes later, he landed at the United Earth Coalition headquarters, a massive underground base hidden beneath the snowy mountains of Geneva. Soldiers, scientists, and officers rushed through the corridors, alarms echoing above them like thunder. As Chen entered the war room, everyone turned. At the center stood Fleet Admiral Sarah Okonkwo, a tall, fearless woman with sharp eyes and a presence that filled the room. She had led human fleets through impossible battles before. If anyone could save humanity now, it was her. She stepped forward. "Ambassador Chen. I already heard the Council's decision." Chen nodded grimly. "They're retreating. The Exodus Protocol is active. The galaxy has left us behind." A cold silence fell. "What about New Colonia?" Sarah asked. Chen pressed a button on the table. The hologram of the colony appeared. Beautiful forests, oceans, cities, now marked with flashing red symbols of incoming enemies. "The Vorgath fleet is only hours away," Chen said. "If they fall, Earth is next." Sarah's expression hardened. "Then we defend them." A younger officer, Lieutenant Ramos, stepped forward nervously. We have only 214 operational warships. The Vorgath have thousands." Sarah didn't flinch. "Numbers don't win wars. Willpower does." Chen placed the metallic data chip on the table. "And we have this." Everyone stared. "What is it?" Sarah asked. Chen shook his head. "Something the Council refused to use. High Elder Vora gave it to me in secret. She said it holds information about the Vorgath, dangerous information." Sarah frowned. "Let's find out." A holographic AI scanned the chip. Symbols flashed rapidly. Strange codes. Biological data. A diagram of a massive creature. The AI's voice echoed in the room. "Vorgath weakness detected. Neural interference patterns located." The room went silent. Sarah's eyes widened. "Are you saying they can be disrupted?" "Maybe," Chen replied. "Not destroyed. But confused. Slowed." Ramos swallowed hard. Even a small advantage could save thousands of lives. Sarah turned to her officers. "From this moment, we stop thinking like the Council. We stop playing by alien rules. We do whatever it takes." Her voice hardened. "No limits. No restrictions. No fear." Officers nodded with determination. The preparation begins. Every corner of Earth roared into action. Engineers worked non-stop in shipyards, sparks flying from metal. Old, retired vessels were brought back to life. Civilian mining ships were fitted with missile launchers. Cargo carriers became troop transports. Every tool became a weapon. Every worker became a soldier. Every factory ran day and night. In one hangar, Commander Ko Tanaka trained her fighter squadron. She paced in front of her pilots, her tone sharp. "The Vorgath are monsters, yes. But they have never fought humans before. And we fight differently." The pilots nodded, fear and courage mixed in their eyes. Across another hangar, Captain Marcus Webb inspected his destroyer, the UES Indomitable. Engineers rushed around him, attaching scorched armor plates, rewiring energy cannons, loading nuclear torpedoes. "This ship won't survive a normal battle," one engineer warned. Webb smirked. "Good thing we don't fight normal battles." Earth's decision. Back in the war room, Sarah stood before the giant holographic map of human space. "We're sending the first defense fleet to New Colonia," she said. "If we lose this battle, humanity's future ends here." Chen crossed his arms. "We're outnumbered 20 to 1. Sarah nodded. "Then we make those 20 regret coming." Ramos looked confused. "How?" Sarah pointed at Chen's data chip. "We disrupt their hive mind." The officer's eyes widened. The Vorgath think together, Sarah explained. If we break their connection, even for a moment, they become uncoordinated. Blind. Vulnerable. Chen leaned forward. We don't have to kill the swarm. We just have to slow it down long enough to escape. Or fight back. Sarah nodded. Exactly. A heavy silence settled. Our ancestors survived world wars, plagues, famines, she said. They survived without allies. Without technology. Without hope. Her voice grew louder. And so will we. Everyone in the room stood straighter. The fleet moves out. Hours later, deep in space, the human fleet assembled like a swarm of steel giants. Warships of every size aligned in battle formation. Fighters filled the hangars. Bombers floated in silence. The Indomitable took its place at the front. Commander Tanaka's fighters lit their engines. Admiral Sarah Okonkwo stepped onto the main bridge of the flagship, UES Horizon Dawn. All ships ready? She asked. Ready, Admiral, the officers replied. Chen stood beside her, watching the stars. Do you think we can win? He asked quietly. Sarah placed a hand behind her back and gave a small smile. We don't need to win, she said. We only need to survive long enough to strike back. Suspense ending. Suddenly, the ship's sensors beeped. A warning flashed red. Massive Vorgath movement detected near New Colonia. Estimated arrival, 1 hour. Everyone froze. Chen's heart pounded. Sarah turned to her fleet. Prepare for warp. The stars blurred into streaks of light. The fleet jumped. Toward New Colonia. Toward the first real battle of humanity's last war. The human fleet shot through warp space like streaks of white fire. Inside every ship, soldiers checked their weapons, engineers tightened bolts on reactor cores, and pilots whispered quiet prayers. They all knew the truth. This fight would decide if humanity lived, or if it disappeared forever. On the flagship Horizon Dawn, Admiral Sarah Okonkwo stood on the bridge. The blue glow of the screens lit her face. She watched the countdown. Approaching New Colonia in 5 minutes, an officer announced. Sarah nodded, but her mind was already somewhere else, in the past, remembering every friend she lost in battles against the Vorgath. She promised herself one thing. Humanity will not fall while she still breathes. Behind her, Ambassador David Chen reviewed the data chip Vora gave him. Strange symbols flickered across the screen, patterns, pulses, waves that didn't look like any normal language. It's like, it's alive, Chen muttered. Alive? The science officer asked. Chen nodded slowly. The chip reacts to the Vorgath signal. It's not just data, it's a counter-frequency. A weapon. The officer's eyes widened. We might actually break the hive mind. Chen exhaled. Or we might make them angry. Very angry. Before anyone could respond, the alarm sounded. Fleet, prepare for exit from warp, the navigator shouted. The ship shook. The stars snapped back into focus. And suddenly, they were there. The human fleet arrives. New Colonia shimmered like a blue-green jewel. Forests, oceans. Cities. Millions of people lived there. But now, the sky above the colony was filled with shadows. Vorgath ships. Hundreds of them. Organic, twisted, alive. Their black armor pulsed like beating hearts. Their tendrils reached outward as if tasting the space around them. Even the bravest soldiers shivered. One officer whispered, "They look like nightmares." Admiral Okonkwo stood tall. "Then let's show nightmares what humans do when we're cornered." She activated her comms. "To all ships, battle formation Alpha. Fighters launch on my mark. No one fires until I say so." Across the fleet, thrusters roared. Engines burned hot. Ship after ship moved into perfect formation. Commander Ko Tanaka stood inside the fighter bay of the Horizon Dawn. Her pilots waited beside their small, fast starfighters, sleek, silver, deadly. Tanaka raised her helmet. "Listen up," she said. "The Vorgath swarm fights like one creature. If we break the hive mind, even for a moment, they'll fall apart. We attack fast, hit hard, and don't give them time to think." A young pilot swallowed nervously. "What if there are too many?" Tanaka smiled without humor. "Then we take as many as we can with us." The pilots nodded. They climbed into their cockpits. Engines hummed. Lights glowed. The bay doors opened, revealing the cold, dark battlefield ahead. Preparing the weapon. Meanwhile, in the science bay, Chen and the tech team worked on the data chip. A hologram of a Vorgath brain pattern pulsed rhythmically. It was complex, millions of signals woven together. A single hive mind controlling all ships. The scientist Dr. Eloa Park typed quickly. If we amplify the counter frequency from this chip, it should disrupt their communication. Chen frowned. How long? A few seconds. Maybe a minute. No more. That's enough, Chen said. A minute can change everything. Park connected the device to a massive amplifier built into the horizon dawn. Electricity crackled. The room vibrated. Chen stared at the glowing chip. Vora. I hope you're right about this. The calm before the storm. Back on the bridge, Sarah watched the Vorgath fleet drifting toward New Colonia. Their movements were slow and rhythmic, almost like breathing. They're waiting, Sarah muttered. For what? Chen asked, stepping onto the bridge. Reinforcements, she said. The swarm always waits until it has overwhelming numbers. Chen sighed. Then we act first. Sarah looked at him for a moment. She respected his courage. Most diplomats hid behind protocols. Chen was different, he was ready to die with the soldiers. She pressed the intercom. All ships. The time has come. Her voice echoed through every hallway, every cockpit, every heart. Humanity stands alone today. No allies. No backup. No second chances. But we have something the galaxy forgot: courage, rage, and the will to survive. Every soldier listened in silence. We fight because no one else will. We fight because our people need us. We fight because this is our home. She lowered her voice. Prepare for battle. The enemy moves. Suddenly, the sensors blared. Vorgath ships are turning, an officer shouted. They're locking onto us. Black, organic warships twisted in unnatural ways and surged forward like predators. The entire fleet vibrated as weapons charged. Commander Tanaka's voice came through the comms, fighters standing by. Chen moved to the science station. Dr. Park, ready the interference blast. Park nodded. Charging the signal. Sarah raised her hand. Not yet, she whispered. The Vorgath drew closer. The whole bridge felt the tension like a knife at their throats. Admiral, they're almost in range, an officer warned. Wait, Sarah said. The enemy accelerated. Admiral? Wait. A heartbeat. Another. The Vorgath were seconds away from firing. Sarah's eyes hardened. Now. Suspense ending. Dr. Park slammed the activation switch. A blinding pulse of blue light shot from the horizon dawn. Every screen flickered. Every ship trembled. In the distance, the Vorgath fleet reacted violently, shaking, twisting, screaming in strange frequencies. The hive mind was breaking. But then, every alarm in the fleet went red. A new signal appeared on the sensors. Something enormous. Something bigger than anything humanity had ever seen. A gigantic shadow emerged from behind the moon of New Colonia. A Vorgath dread mothership. Chen's face went pale. Sarah whispered, God help us. The shockwave from the interference blast still rippled through space when the sensors screamed like sirens. A dark shape, vast, monstrous, slid out from behind New Colonia's moon. Its body was larger than a city. Its black surface pulsed like living flesh. Thousands of glowing red eyes opened across its hull. The Vorgath dread mothership. Every human officer froze. Even the bravest pilots felt their stomachs twist. Admiral Sarah Okonkwo stared at the monstrous shape. Her voice dropped to a whisper. That thing could destroy our entire fleet. Ambassador David Chen felt the air leave his lungs. This wasn't in any council report. They must have been hiding it, Sarah said, jaw tightening. And now it's here. The dread mothership roared, a deep, vibrating hum that shook the bridge. It sounded like millions of voices crying at once. Admiral, an officer shouted. The smaller Vorgath ships are losing coordination. The interference signal worked. Across the battlefield, swarms of smaller Vorgath biofighters drifted in confusion. Some crashed into each other. Others spun in random circles, their hive link temporarily broken. But they were still dangerous. And the dread mothership was unaffected. Sarah took a deep breath. All ships, weapons free. Fighters, launch. The sky erupts. Commander Ko Tanaka led the first fighter wing out of the launch bay. Dozens of small, sleek starfighters shot into open space, engines burning white. Stay tight. Tanaka ordered. Hit the disoriented swarm first. Her pilots dove into the chaotic cloud of Vorgath fighters. Human lasers shot through the darkness, tearing through confused bioships. Explosions flashed like tiny suns. A young pilot cheered. "We're hitting them hard." "Don't celebrate." Tanaka snapped. "They'll recover any second." Before she finished, several biofighters snapped back into formation, their eyes glowing red again. "They're regaining control. Pull back." But it was too late for some. 3 fighters were sliced apart by organic tendrils launched from the nearest bioship. Tanaka felt the shock through her cockpit. Damn it. She spun her ship and fired a burst, destroying the creature. But more rushed in. Tanaka to fleet, fighter wing is engaging hundreds of swarm units. "We need backup." The ships clash. On the UES Indomitable, Captain Marcus Webb gripped the railing as his ship charged forward. "Target the nearest beast ships. Fire ion cannons." Blue bolts shot from the destroyer, slamming into a massive Vorgath cruiser. The creature screeched, glowing cracks spreading across its flesh-like armor. "Launch torpedoes." Webb commanded. 2 nuclear torpedoes streaked through space. Impact. A massive explosion tore through the creature's side, splitting it open. Black fluids poured out like blood. The bioship twisted and died. The crew cheered, but the victory lasted only seconds. A new shadow fell over them. Another Vorgath cruiser dove down from above. "Brace for impact." Webb shouted. The alien ship slammed into the Indomitable, scraping across the hull with grinding force. Sparks shot across the bridge. Officers fell to the floor. "Hull breach on deck 4, an engineer shouted. "Seal it." Webb yelled. "Keep firing." The ship shook again as organic missiles splattered against its hull. The Dread Mothership moves. Back on the flagship, the Dread Mothership extended massive tendrils. Glowing red veins pulsed along their lengths. "What's it doing?" Chen asked. Dr. Park studied the readings. Her face turned white. "It's charging a planet-killer beam." Sarah's eyes widened. "How long?" "Less than 5 minutes." "Target, New Colonia," another officer added. "Millions lived on that planet." Sarah stepped forward. Her voice was cold steel. "All ships, redirect fire to the Dread Mothership. Hit it with everything." The human fleet unleashed hell. Missiles flew. Lasers burned. Cannons thundered. But the Dread Mothership barely reacted. Its black armor absorbed the attacks like rain. "It's not taking damage," an officer shouted. Chen slammed his fist on the console. "We can't let it fire. If New Colonia falls, Earth is next." The risky plan. Sarah turned to Dr. Park. "What if we amplify the interference signal further? Hit the Dread Mothership directly." Park shook her head. "That could overload the system. We might blow out our own ship." "Will it work?" "It might, or it might kill us instantly." Chen stepped forward. "Do it." Sarah nodded. "Prepare the overload." The room filled with electricity. Sparks crackled from the amplifier towers. The lights flickered. Park hesitated. "Admiral, if this goes wrong, the Horizon Dawn will be destroyed." Sarah stood tall. "If we don't try, millions will die anyway." The final moments before impact. On the battlefield, the Dread Mothership's core glowed brighter. Beam charging at 70%. 80%. 90%. Chen gripped the rail, his knuckles white. Tanaka's voice screamed through the comms. "Admiral, the swarm is pushing us back. We can't hold them." The Indomitable took another hit, alarms blaring. Every human ship was burning, damaged, struggling. And the Dread Mothership was seconds from firing. Sarah looked at Park. "Now. Overload it." Park slammed her palm on the panel. A blinding surge of blue-white energy blasted out from the Horizon Dawn, rippling across space. The Dread Mothership jolted violently, its glowing veins flickering. The hive mind connection wavered. Bioships froze. Fighters spun aimlessly. The Dread Mothership's beam stopped charging at 99%. Chen exhaled. "We did it." Park shook her head. "No, something's wrong." Suspense ending. The Dread Mothership's core began glowing again. But this time brighter. And hotter. And unstable. Dr. Park's voice cracked. "Admiral, it's evolving." The screens flashed red as the massive creature reactivated, stronger than before. Sarah whispered. "This battle has just begun." The blast of interference from the Horizon Dawn tore through the battlefield like a blue wave. The Dread Mothership froze for a moment. Vorgath fighters stalled mid-flight. Even the smaller hive ships stopped moving. But only for a moment. Then the impossible happened. The dread mothership shifted, its armor pulsed, its tendrils twisted, and its glowing red veins brightened as if feeding on the interference signal. Dr. Park stared in horror at the readings. Admiral, it absorbed the energy. It's adapting. Admiral Sarah Okonkwo clenched her jaw. So now it's stronger? Park nodded. Much stronger. Across the battlefield, every human captain felt the shift. The enemy was waking up, angrier than before. The swarm strikes back. Commander Ko Tanaka's fighters were the first to face the revived swarm. Hundreds of red-eyed biofighters suddenly snapped into perfect formation. Their wings stretched open like blades. Their bodies vibrated with killing intent. Squadron, break formation. Tanaka shouted. It was too late. A wave of organic missiles launched from the swarm, streaking toward the human fighters like a cloud of teeth. Tanaka rolled her ship sharply, flames brushing past her cockpit. Two pilots behind her weren't so lucky. Explosions lit the sky, leaving only drifting metal pieces. Damn it, this is getting worse. Tanaka growled. She fired a burst at a nearest biofighter, watching it burst into black dust. Fleet, this is Tanaka. We're outnumbered and losing pilots fast. The HMS Indomitable on the brink. On the destroyer UES Indomitable, Captain Marcus Webb gripped the arm of his command chair as the ship shuddered violently. Status, he shouted. Hull integrity at 42%, an engineer yelled. Shields failing. A massive Vorgath cruiser rammed into them again, scraping organic claws across the ship's hull. Screams echoed through the lower decks. Hit it with everything. Webb ordered. The Indomitable's cannons fired continuously, blue bolts ripping chunks from the creature's body. Nuclear torpedoes slammed into its core, blowing off an entire limb. Finally, the monster drifted dead. But Webb didn't celebrate. He checked his tactical screen. 3 more cruisers were coming. We can't survive another direct hit, he said quietly. Humanity fights back, the dirty way. Back on the Horizon Dawn, Admiral Sarah made a decision no alien council would ever approve. Prepare the illegal weapons. Everyone turned to her in shock. Chen stepped forward. You mean, those weapons were banned for a reason? Good, she replied. Because the Vorgath aren't expecting them. Dr. Park and her team unlocked a sealed section below the bridge. Inside were 3 extremely dangerous technologies, humanity's darkest creations. EMP cascade bombs, capable of frying organic neural structures. Phase blade mines, designed to slice through any living material. Nuclear dust charges, forbidden after the Trion crisis. Chen stared. If we use those, we risk destroying our own ships. Sarah's eyes hardened. Better than letting humanity die. She turned to the weapons officer. Load them all. The officer nodded, though his hands trembled. The counterattack begins. Human ships began deploying phase blade mines along the dread mothership's projected path. Each mine floated silently, invisible to normal senses. Sarah watched the tactical screen. Come on, take the bait. The dread mothership extended its massive tendrils. Chen whispered, it's charging again. The giant creature pushed forward, and struck the minefield. Boom. 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 Explosions tore through its living armor. Tendrils severed. Red blood-like fluid sprayed across space. For the first time, the dread mothership recoiled. Sarah smirked. That got its attention. EMP cascade, the human gamble. Dr. Park activated the EMP cascade device. 3, 2, 1, releasing. A ripple of silver waves burst outward, passing through human ships harmlessly but hitting the swarm with devastating effect. Biofighters spasmed. Their eyes flickered. Some curled into balls and died instantly. The hive ships jerked violently, drifting off course. Commander Tanaka saw her chance. Now. Hit them while they're glitching. Her fighters dove in, shredding disabled bioships in rapid bursts. Laser beams sliced through creature after creature. The sky lit with explosions. Nice shooting, a pilot shouted. But Tanaka didn't relax. Because the dread mothership was barely affected. We need bigger firepower, she muttered. The nuclear dust gambit. On the Indomitable, Captain Webb received the command. Webb, this is Admiral Okonkwo. Prepare to deploy nuclear dust charges. Webb blinked. Those weapons are unstable, Admiral. Exactly. Webb understood. Understood. Deploying. The Indomitable launched the charges, small metallic spheres filled with deadly radioactive dust. They drifted toward the dread mothership like harmless debris. Then the dust spread, forming a glowing cloud. When the dread mothership entered the cloud, its skin sizzled. Holes burned through its armor. Its veins pulsed frantically. For the first time, the behemoth screamed. A deep, horrible cry that shook space itself. Chen whispered, "We're actually hurting it." Sarah replied, "Not enough." The dread mothership unleashes hell. The monster retaliated. All its tendrils shot forward like spears. Hundreds of red beams cut across the battlefield. Ships exploded. Fighters vaporized. Entire human squadrons disappeared in seconds. Commander Tanaka's wing was hit hard, 6 fighters gone instantly. The Indomitable was struck by 2 beams. The entire ship shook violently. Webb was thrown to the floor. Sparks flew. Fires erupted. "We're losing power," an officer screamed. "Keep firing." Webb shouted back, struggling to stand. Humanity's darkest moment. On the horizon dawn, every officer could see the truth. They were losing. The dread mothership, wounded but alive, was preparing to fire its planet-killer beam again. Dr. Park read the readings, her voice shaking. "Admiral, it's charging faster this time. We can't stop it." Chen closed his eyes, feeling the weight of billions of lives. Sarah looked at the tactical screen. The situation was hopeless. Unless. She turned slowly toward Chen, her expression deadly serious. "Ambassador, there is one last thing we can try." Chen frowned. "What is it?" Sarah pointed at the glowing data chip. "That signal, we can amplify it beyond safe levels. But it won't just disrupt the hive mind." Chen realized what she meant. "It will kill it." Park nodded. "But it will also destroy our ship." Sarah clenched her fists. "If we don't do it, New Colonia dies. Earth is next." Chen took a deep breath. "Then we end this." Suspense ending. Sirens blared. Dread motherships beam at 92%. Human shields failing. Fighters wiped out. Dr. Park placed her hand over the overload switch. Chen whispered, "For humanity." Sarah shouted, "Do it." Park slammed the switch. A surge of unimaginable power burst through the horizon dawn. The ship shook violently. Lights exploded. The screens went black. And the dread mothership screamed. The moment Dr. Park hit the overload switch, the horizon dawn changed. Its engine screamed. Energy burst across its hull like lightning trapped inside metal skin. The entire ship vibrated as if it were tearing apart from the inside. Admiral Sarah Okonkwo grabbed the railing to stay upright. "Status," she shouted over the deafening alarms. Her officers were fighting to stay conscious, sparks raining around them. "We're channeling all power to the amplification array," the chief engineer yelled. "The ship cannot hold this for long." Dr. Park stared at her monitors. Numbers climbed rapidly. "This is working, but we're burning everything." The decks shook again. Panels blew out. Crew members fell to the ground as the lights flickered. The ship was dying. But so was the dread mothership. The beast writhed. The amplified human signal hit the dread mothership like a spear of pure agony. Its red veins turned white. Its tendrils convulsed. The monster twisted in space like a wounded serpent. Sections of its armor peeled away, revealing glowing bone-like structures underneath. Commander Tanaka, still fighting with the surviving pilots, stared in awe. What did they do? Her wingman gasped. "The dread mothership, it's falling apart." But the celebration ended quickly. Because despite the pain, the monster still aimed its massive frontal cannon toward New Colonia. The beam continues to charge. On the horizon dawn, Dr. Park screamed over the alarms. "Admiral! It's still charging its planet killer. We slowed it, but didn't stop it." Chen's eyes widened. "If it fires, even half-charged, the colony is finished." Sarah wiped blood from her forehead. "How long until our overload kills it?" Park looked at her trembling hands. "I don't know, maybe seconds, maybe a full minute." They didn't have a minute. Humanity's fleet in ruins. Across the battlefield. Ships drifted without power. Fires burned through broken hulls. Pilots floated in escape pods, watching their home's last hope fade. Captain Webb's destroyer, Indomitable, was almost gone. "Shields are dead," an officer coughed. "Weapons offline." Webb saw the giant cannon of the dread mothership glowing brighter. And he made a choice. "Helm, ram it." The bridge went silent. "Captain, if we ram, we won't survive." Webb looked at his dying ship, then at the monstrous enemy. We're already dead. But maybe we can buy time. The helmsman nodded, tears in her eyes. Aye, sir. The broken destroyer turned toward the glowing cannon. The last human attack. Commander Tanaka's voice cracked through the radio. Indomitable, pull back. That's suicide. But Webb only whispered one word. Goodbye. The Indomitable smashed into the cannon's outer plating. A massive explosion rippled across the dread mothership's front. The cannon sputtered, its glow flickering. The entire monster staggered backward. Tanaka whispered, they did it, they slowed the shot. But the cannon still pulsed with power. It was unstable, but still dangerous. The colony was still moments from destruction. Inside the dying Horizon Dawn, Dr. Park's console sparked violently. Her hands shook from burns. The overload is reaching maximum output. We cannot hold it. Sarah breathed hard. If the ship tears apart before the signal finishes. Chen completed her sentence. The dread mothership survives. The Admiral looked at both of them. You two need to get to the escape pods. Park shook her head fast. Not leaving. Chen smiled sadly. Humans never run. Remember? Sarah felt a sudden, painful pride. Then we finish this together. The ship groaned like a wounded animal. Metal bent. Engines ruptured. The core reached critical heat. The final seconds. The dread mothership opened its cannon. Red light gathered inside. Tanaka screamed, it's firing. Every human heart froze. Dr. Park shouted, overload peak in 3 seconds. Lights exploded above her. 2 seconds. Sarah closed her eyes. Chen, tell humanity. Chen placed a hand on her shoulder. They'll know. 1. The dread mothership fired. A broken, unstable blast of red death shot toward New Colonia. At the same instant, the Horizon Dawn unleashed its full amplified signal. A blinding white wave erupted from the ship, spreading like shockwave of raw human defiance. The collision. The two energies met in the middle of space. Red death. White humanity. The impact created a storm of colors brighter than a star. The battlefield was swallowed in light. Pilots shielded their eyes. Ships rattled violently. Inside the Horizon Dawn, everything went silent. Sarah whispered, barely audible. 4. Earth. Then the core detonated. The Horizon Dawn was consumed in a white explosion so powerful, so pure, it cut through the dread mothership's mind like a blade. The fall of the dread mothership. The dread mothership froze. Its eyes dimmed. Its tendrils dropped. Cracks spread across its armor. Then, the monster collapsed in on itself, imploding like a dying star. A shockwave rolled across the battlefield, scattering debris for thousands of kilometers. Commander Tanaka gasped. It's dead. The surviving human ships watched in stunned silence as the largest threat in galactic history died in the empty void. But no celebration. Because one truth echoed through every survivor's mind. The Horizon Dawn, and everyone on it, was gone. Admiral Sarah. Dr. Park. Ambassador Chen. Hundreds of crew. They saved a world. They saved humanity. And they paid the ultimate price. Tanaka's voice trembled across the comms. All ships, the dread mothership is destroyed, but we have lost our flagship. No one spoke. The battlefield was quiet now. Silent. Grieving. Tanaka swallowed hard. Prepare rescue teams, and record this moment. She stared at the scattered stars where the Horizon Dawn once stood. Humanity fought alone. Humanity stood alone. And humanity endured.